Hey, welcome to Talking Small Press Comics, episode 45. Bingo.
Right.
With
That's right.
Steve Keeter over there.
Superstar. Superstar.
And
Check it out.
Superstar. Look at the glasses. Can you check it
Yeah.
out?
I mean, you can actually see the reflection of the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool. And I'm
Oh,
Larned Justin, by the way.
he is. This guy's
That
Larned
way.
Justin.
You're that way. Okay.
Yeah. Jim
And,
Maine says he's the brains behind us talking small press.
I don't know why he keeps telling me my brains are in my behind. I don't get it. But anyway.
I'm the brawn. He's the brains. Yeah. I'm the brawn.
Okay. Anyway, we are ready with a regular episode. The episode before this was special. That was the SpaceCon episode, and I hope you watched that. If you didn't, make sure you watch it.
I hope you did. Got like 145 views.
Yeah,
and,
we
had
really
a great time. We had
really
a great
well.
Time. I got to dispense. This is a gag, so like a gag. I got to dispense to this though. I just want to say that these are colorblind glasses that I ordered. Well, actually, one of my daughters sent it to me several years ago because I am a little colorblind, red and green colorblindness, and I just ordered some new ones in chroma glasses. They're supposed to be the best, so I should have those by the weekend. So I hope to see everybody in living color by then.
Okay.
I can already see Larned's got on a red shirt.
Yeah.
And I got superheroes in all different colors, but it's going to look even greater. Matt, that's right. Alfred E. Newman is right there in living color.
Yeah.
Living color. There's a big tongue that guy has. He's like the Gene Simmons of mad comic books.
Really?
So
okay, we better get started. We got a bunch of comics for this episode. We have a ton. And we have not. These are the last comics that you folks have sent us. Starting on the next episode, we'll be reviewing the comics we picked up at Space.
Almost
a little different.
I just got one from Steve Willis, and
I have that.
But not in time for this show. But we'll get to you shortly, Steve.
Why wouldn't it be in time for you didn't? What do you mean?
Did you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't put it on the list. You sent me a list of stuff we were going to record.
Okay. Well, we can save it. We can save it for the next one. That's okay.
Oh.
All right.
Steve Willis, you're a superstar, and we're going to save it for the next show, unless I can read it really, really fast in between Larned's commenting.
It's a very different type issue, so
yeah.
Let's save it. We'll save it, for the next one. But anyway, what do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with the most offbeat publication that we have received recently.
Oh, yes.
From our great pal, Dan Burke.
Dan Burke has these. I found out that GAF cards, GAFF, are magician's cards. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, and I did not know. I did not know.
I had to look it up because I didn't know what GAF meant. But these are magician's cards, and this whole issue is about how to do these card tricks.
And I didn't know Dan is an amateur magician. I
didn't know that either, but
I didn't know
it's done like this all the way through. He describes each trick and shows you how to do it. There's a little. You gotta buy a few things to do some of these tricks, but if you really want to do them, he will show you how to do it. I don't think they're very, the parts to do it, I don't think are very expensive, but you do have to invest a little bit to do these tricks.
Yeah, basically a super glue and a balloon.
A balloon.
He shows step by step how to do these amazing card tricks. Here you cut up pieces of a balloon, and well, there's a lot more to it, but he goes into absolute detail.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say here, right in the beginning, in the contents are all the tricks he's going to show you and the names of them. So there's 10 tricks in here to do if you want to. And detail description on how to do it, illustrated by Dan, showing you exactly, where to make cuts and do this and that and everything. So if you like magic and you wonder how some of these things are done, he's giving it all away right here.
Yeah, he's giving away all the secrets along with
giving away the secrets
with some nice CGI artwork.
Yeah.
Magicians
AI
and
stuff.
the
Yeah.
magician's assistant,
And
and
this is, I believe, maybe I don't have the price on here. I believe it's, oh, nuts. I think it was $10. Is that right? You know?
Well, the quality is amazing, so it's worth $10 most
Yeah,
definitely.
you get it. His stuff comes through Amazon, so we'll put the Amazon link in the description, and it'll tell you what the price is when you go to Amazon, of course.
Yeah, he might have told me in a message. If so, I'll look it up and I'll send it to you.
Somehow I thought it was $10, but I may be wrong. So don't count on that.
He talks. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. You guys got this portrait that you can put on the wall.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
And you're in a place and you want to do this magic trick, and the trick is the portrait doesn't have a card in his hand, and you're talking to somebody, and
it comes along, and all of a sudden
they blink one time, and now the portrait has a card.
Yeah.
And there's other things where you can send a card through a glass table and it pops up on the other side of the glass. Or you can send a card from where you are to a window across the room and it suddenly pops up the chosen card. Somebody picks out a card, pop, pop, pop. Is this your card? And it's way over there.
Cool. I mean, yeah. I mean, these are not. I'm sorry. These are the better tricks. Those kind of tricks are very interesting to try and do, but he shows you how to do it. So
some of it's done with magnets. And I mean, you're reading through this thing and you're going, wow, how does somebody come up with this stuff? How did someone conceive this?
I know, that's amazing to me. You tell somebody, hey, I want to do a trick where the card appears on a window across the room. How do I do that? Well, nobody has any idea.
It's crazy,
but it can be done.
And there it is. Even in the rain, the card will appear on the window. Yeah. On the other side of the window, you're in a room. It's on the other side of the window. There's some more CGI, So
if you want to learn how to do it, that book will tell you.
See, right here, the magician is he throws all his cards like flit all across the room. They all fall down on the floor, but one of them appears on the other side of that window. So,
I don't know. That's amazing.
I reread some of this. I have to reread it some more because it's simple, but it's complex. You have to follow it step by step.
Yeah. And he does show you. He shows you how to do it. He's got every, all the where your hands should be, all those kinds of things. It's all drawn in here.
The killer AI back cover there.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
But thanks for sending that, Dan. I mean, it was a surprise. You said it. I think you said in a message. This one is a little different.
Yeah.
It is
a little different. And it's interesting.
Right. But we enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if you want to be a magician, a card magician, you can start off with that and then go from there.
There we go.
Okay. What do we got next? I know we got a bunch of stuff here.
We got 2 issues of the Imagination Link.
That's what I was thinking. We've got issue
from Alan
55 and 56.
Mm-hmm.
And the Imagination Link, I can show you right here, is this right here, this little
robot
silver ball. That's the Imagination Link, and he used to be a human.
He's a human. It's a human being, the intellect apparently transplanted into an alien probe.
Right.
And sent here by aliens. Whom he loses contact with, and he forgets his identity. He forgets everything.
Well, he doesn't remember when he was a human. He doesn't remember anything about that. He knows he was. He doesn't remember it though. Yeah.
And he befriends these 2 geeky-looking guys.
Yeah.
Looks like Larned and me about 40, 50 years ago, but that's
right. Yeah, we looked
geeky kids.
exactly like that.
And they have this adventure, and they're trying to find out where he came from. In the meantime, he's being drawn. He's being drawn by some sort of force. In fact, the kids are drawn by the same force. Where's my finger? Finger's here. They're being drawn also towards the aliens who have landed on the Earth, and they're looking for the probe.
Yeah.
So, this has been going on for several issues,
now this is according to what I read, this is a reprint of something he did a while back, but he wanted to get everything together.
I think this one is. Number 55 is a reprint.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Number 55.
But number 56
is the newer.
The new story.
Yeah. But this is a reprint of, he has done this before, but he's trying to consolidate these and get them in order and so forth. And, if you haven't seen it, fine. It's only, these are $2. So,
and Alan does a really nice job on the artwork. And the story is totally absorbing. It's not hard to read. It just flows very well.
Flows along real good. Yeah. You'll be able to follow it. It's an unusual story, but that's what's so great about small press. Yeah. You can do anything you want.
And there's some of Alan's artwork.
Yeah. And
so you get kind of caught up. You get kind of caught up in this story. He's an alien probe. He's a machine, but he's a machine with soul.
Yeah.
You feel for this character.
They're still trying to help him get his identity, and that's continues on in 56. 56, where they're still trying to help him find his real identity.
Yep. And then he throws you a curve here and there.
Yeah.
He throws you a curve here and there talking about a giant rock. Like it's a rock with dark eyeballs. Where is it at?
Right
floating through space. And this is not him, apparently. I thought at first that that was him in the beginning. But it has something to do with him.
He encounters that, yes. He does encounter that, yeah.
And that's part of the story. So
yeah, we don't want to give too much away here, but because it's not a long book, but
well, you really can't give too much away because Alan leaves the mystery open at the end.
Yeah.
This has not been resolved, and we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to what comes next.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this book.
If you like science fiction, and you might get a kick out of this. Pretty neat.
Yep.
And the thing is, this is issue 56. So, he's been doing this a long time. I don't know if I guess the Imagination link started in issue 1. I don't know. But
it started somewhere down the line.
In the middle somewhere.
Yeah,
okay.
He's got a picture of something, and my old man cataract eyes. I'm trying to look here. The Imagination link looks like the probe first appeared in issue number 46.
46.
That's where it started. The link.
Okay.
But he's done other stories before that. But the Imagination, talk about imagination. Alan has a great imagination, so he's always
he does. Very good
coming
writer.
up with really cool, engaging stuff. So
yeah, very good writer. Very cool. All right, that's that one. What do you got next?
Well, I got the latest issue of Small Press Party.
Yeah,
my pal Joseph Morris.
Yep.
Whom we met in person just a couple of weeks ago at the Space Convention up in Columbus, Ohio. And he's aided and abetted in this particular issue. Can you find it?
No, I don't think that I had that one set up.
Yeah.
I don't think that was one we were going to do.
Well, we can hold off on it, or I can just review it myself.
Well,
we saw Joseph Morris at the convention. He was a great guy. It was an honor and a pleasure.
The idea was not to mix the convention copies with the copies that were sent to us. We picked that up at the convention. I'd like to save that. We're going to start that in the next episode, the convention.
Okay, we'll hold off on that one.
Until next. Yeah,
I will say that it has artwork by Joseph Morris, and he is a great cartoony style, unlike just about anyone else.
Oh yeah, it's very, very different. Very different.
Distinctive style, along with one of the greats of small press, Terry Flippo.
Terry Flippo. Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to it later. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it in the next one. I'm trying to keep these separate. I will explain on the next episode why I want to keep these separate. I will tell you Joseph, in the next.
I'll tell you what's going on. Just a second.
I'll tell you in the next episode why I want to do that. I do have a reason. So, so this episode is still the ones you've been sending in, not the ones we got at the show. Okay.
I missed all that. What did Larned say behind my back? Tell me.
Boy, you don't want to know.
Post it in the comments below. I need to know. I don't.
I was just trying to explain to them. I was going to tell them in the next episode why I want to keep these comments separate. The ones that were mailed to us and the ones we picked up at the show and paid for or traded for. I want to keep separate.
But speaking of which,
I'll explain that in the next episode.
Okay. Speaking of which, you want to know why it's easy to get stuff confused? Because look, I came back from this convention with this many books.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
all these comics of all sizes and shapes. So we got a lot to review.
Yeah. And that's what we're starting next episode, which will be fairly soon. Yeah, a little sooner than normal because we don't have to wait for things to come in the mail. We've got them.
Yeah. So what we want to do to help us catch up, and what we want to do is post like 2 videos per week. So like 1 video every 4 or 5 days. And
we want to leave a video up to get all the views for a little while before we do another one, but we don't have to wait very long to do another one because we got the comics.
Yeah, we're darn busy making videos. We have a Patreon page too now.
Yes,
check out the information below.
That is in the description below, and
so
that would help us a lot too. This one this one I've had for a little while, so we need to get this up, and that's one side. This is the other side. They always flip them. Yeet always flips them. And this story right here, the first story, is very cool. This is Shane Luttrell wrote it, and Kent Clark illustrated it. I'm not sure that it's not Clark Kent, but I think it's Kent Clark. But Clark Kent, probably could draw.
You think that's his real name? You think that's his real name?
I have a feeling he's fooling around, but I don't know.
I think it's his pseudonym, but who knows? Maybe his parents had a sense of humor.
Yeah. This is a science fiction story about these 2 guys that actually they're a couple of thieves, really.
Couple of rogues.
Couple of thieves. They think they got a big score. So they're going to pursue that in this episode.
Yep.
So
they find a spacecraft.
Yeah, they find this ship here, and it's sitting there, and they think, "Oh, this is made for us. We can get in that thing, take our time, and steal everything in it."
And somewhere along the line, one of these guys gets the distinct impression that there's a woman running the ship.
Yeah, and he says he doesn't really want to rob from a woman,
Yeah.
So he said, I'm going to go up to the cockpit. Yeah, I'm not going to hang around in this room. I'm going to go up to the cockpit, see what's up there. Yeah, he's got some morals. Didn't want to steal from a lady.
Along the lines, they encounter this giant beast.
This is where they make their mistake. They don't realize that ship is sitting there because they're looking for this monster. And they stumble right into the monster.
The monster's name is Korga.
Yeah.
So Korga shows up and gives them quite a run for their money.
Yeah.
And
we better not show what happens because
I got to show something because one of Shane Luttrell's one of his great characters that he's created is Susie Steam.
Susie Steam, yeah. That's what this really is a Susie Steam story. But
so this just shows she enters the picture.
Yeah, she enters the picture here.
Yeah, and I'm not giving away the ending, but
No,
that's
we don't
when
want to
it
give away the
really
ending.
takes off.
But it's kind of exciting and it's different, and we really liked it.
Kent Clark's artwork's really nice here.
Yeah.
Really nice. That's her dog. I forget the dog's name, but that's Susie Steener's dog.
Yeah, there's a dog there that I think that's her dog, right?
Yeah, that's her dog. He's been in previous adventures. But that's a really nice story. It might be the highlight of the issue. That was a great. Nothing. The other stories are great too, but this one was especially
that's
great.
a cool story. Then we have.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you turn the book over to this side, here you start with Energy Girl by Ken Bailey. And this story is called Career Day. And there's a couple of things here. I don't know. I don't know whether to say this or not. I'm not.
You're not a fan of the line. The
lines around bother me a little bit. I don't know that they're necessary because I'll tell you why. There's a lot of action in this. And if you look at this panel down here, you see what the lines do is cloud up the action. I think. I don't know what the... I don't know.
That's Ken's style. I'm not sure why. Not sure why he puts the line around the characters.
Yeah, but
it doesn't affect the story, though.
It's okay. I just hate to see, he's an excellent. The cartooning of the girl and everything is excellent.
He's excellent.
Don't really think you need the lines around there.
I like his artwork. I like his inks.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, nice.
The line around them is just a curious, curious aspect of his style.
There's on each panel, he puts the date there, and these dates on these panels go from 2017, 2019 to 2020 or 20. Like the very last picture in the book is from 2019. And yet there's 2020 panels in here also.
Yeah, so he's been working this out for a while.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know that that's necessary to do.
And it does introduce an interesting new character. She's a young girl with superpowers. What's her name? Femme girl or Femme?
Jen?
It's right inside the front. Yeah. But there she is. And she's uncertain about her powers. She doesn't know what to think. Apparently, she was born with powers.
And she didn't really understand it or know what it was all about.
So she feels like alienated and stuff because she's not normal. She just wants to be normal.
Yeah.
Femme. Yeah. So
anyway.
Two female heroes.
Yeah.
Both of whom are very powerful. One of whom is very unsure about herself. She just wants to be left alone. But Energy Girl insists on talking to her because she has a similar past, a similar background, and she understands how she feels. Yeah. And so the story is very good. The story is very good, very interesting.
Yep. Just a different art style. That's all.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that. And Ken Bailey's collaborator at times is also in here somewhere, and that
is right here, which is Joe Corrales.
Joe Eli with Corrales,
Improbable Girl, and the Wonder Kitty,
right,
in black and white. And a lot of times Joe's are in full color. This is black and white.
Yeah,
but
this is kind of an introduction to a story that may or may not.
This is really the intro. Candidate Calamity. So there's somebody there running for office.
That's an intro. So
yeah,
what can I say? But it's interesting as all of Joe Corrales' artwork and all of his stories are very interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is Yeet Presents.
Yep, that's
number 56. I understand number 57 is out now, and we're looking forward to seeing that one.
Okay.
And here it is, both sides. This looking like an early. This looks like an early DC comic.
Well,
this
that
design,
does, yeah. Very
It doesn't
cool.
look like a Marvel. It looks like an early DC comics from the early 1960s, like a compilation or one of the annuals that they published.
Yeah.
So it's a
I
cool
like
cover
both covers. I like them both.
Yeah.
I like both covers. Very cool.
Oh, Femtastic. That's the name of the name of the new superhero. It's Femtastic. It just happens. His name happens to be on the cover
Ken
here.
Bailey's cartoon. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And this is, if you read along the top here, the hottest indie comic on the planet. Just so you know.
I burned my hands on it, so you know it's hot.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Where's my fan?
Yeah, man. All right. Do you have this? Alpha Tunes?
I do.
Oh, look at that. Alpha Tunes by Ken Leach.
And that's Ken on the cover.
That's him. There, right there.
That's what he looks like.
And this is number, get this, 230.
Right. Well, it's an apposite.
This is not his normal comic book. This is a newsletter kind of thing that he puts out.
It's an apposite. It's a zine that for the Alpha Omega APA,
right?
Amateur Press Association, and apparently they've been around a long time. This is number 230. That means that this book has to have appeared in this APA at least 230 times.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not generally available for regular mainstream distribution or whatever, small press distribution, I guess.
No, but you can get it, from Ken and take a look at it because it's got information on his upcoming comic book, Ken Kong, which he's looking for.
Ken Kong. He's looking for King Kong submissions.
Yes, Ken Kong.
Artwork and stories.
Yeah. He's looking for King Kong illustrations. Here's one that he shows in the book by Kel Crum right here. And this is President Kong.
President Kong.
Monarchies are a thing of the past. And that's
I got to find that one.
Yeah.
We love Kel Crum. We love his work.
A banana bill right in front of them that they're working on in Congress. You see the banana bill?
Yeah.
They're working on that in Congress right now. But that's what Ken is kind of looking for, I think. Stuff like that for his next upcoming comic book.
Here's another actual photo of Ken Leach.
Yeah.
With the cover by Frank Humphreys, I guess. I think this is Humphreys.
Yeah. There he is.
So that's cool. Yeah, I see the President Kong illusion now. I just found it. You beat me to that one.
There's a number of King Kong illustrations in here. Here's one.
Yep.
Along with a bunch of stuff from Ken's family photos, things like that. Lots of different stuff in here.
Photos of his children, his grandchildren, and
what they're doing, things like that.
Family-oriented publication. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right that must be his granddaughter, and that dress, whatever it is, it completely consumes her.
And there's a lot of neat stuff in here. Things like this. Kind of neat.
Yep.
And here's just a page of all kinds of different little sketches and things. I think Ken did these.
Yeah, illustrations by Ken Leach himself. He did a couple of pages of crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff like this. Yeah. And that's kind of fun. Yeah. So
I'm just looking at some of these.
Don't think this has a price on it.
Yeah, I mean, you got this alien guy here. He's holding something, and he says, "Dag nabbit!" He thinks it's a lightsaber. He said, "Geeps." I think Geeps mean Ken. I think it's a short for grandfather. You do realize that's a flashlight, don't you? They'll say, "Yeah, that's not going to work as a lightsaber, but it makes for a good cartoon."
Yeah. I don't know if there's a price on this or not. I don't see a price anywhere. But it's kind of fun. You can contact Ken. I will have his contact information in the description below, and ask him the price.
He
if you
mentions
want one.
if
it's in here, I couldn't find it.
You may not be familiar with this person, but Louisa Felix, she was in small press. She passed away, I guess, like 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But it looks like somebody's working on reviving something, a publication that has her artwork and stuff in it. She was very creative, very funny. I'm sure she was an Alpha Omega. I know she was in the Pizzazz Comics Co-op. Steve Shipley, I was a member. That was a long time ago, but those are nice memories. And but he has a letter column in here, a bunch of letters.
He has comics. He writes about some comics in here. And there's mailing comments in here because it's an APA. And anyway, it's a nice thing to have.
That's King Kong.
There's King Kong right there.
And that's Ken Kong right there. That's Ken.
Yeah. Contribution. Contributions are greatly appreciated.
Contributions. He sent me a message, and you want to contribute to this thing, so I'll try to do something.
And I sent him an email. I now wanted to clarify something. I sent him a new email a week ago. I've never heard anything back, so I don't know.
He's a busy guy. He just published 230 issues of this particular zine. So he's got a big family, which is great.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So there you go with that.
All right,
we got like two more to go, and they're both epic.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure where to go next. I see what you got. Okay, I'm for that.
All right, Madame Boogala, Volume 1 from Larry Johnson.
Right.
And when he says volume, he's not kidding.
He's not kidding. It looks like 200 pages long here.
Yeah, it's a volume.
But Madame Boogala is a character. This reprints the early Madame Boogala stories. She was sort of based in a way on this gypsy.
Is that the real Madame Boogala? It could be.
It's something. An illustration that inspired Larry to start doing these adventures of Madame Boogala. These are stories published between 1989 and 1999, and they are as good now. There's fresh. There is original, and as they were when they were first published, with some amazing fantasy illustrations throughout by Larry himself.
Yep, I mean,
there's Larry, the demon Poroscoro, who sometimes inhabits her son Gumar's form. And
but each story has like this kind of a splash page when you go into a new story, and it's very cool.
There's some exciting stuff here, and I'm just looking.
Some of it I remember. Actually, surprisingly, some of this I remember.
Yeah,
from the original.
And Lou Brown, who's constantly, he's been in a lot of Larry stories, and I think that's Lou Brown there. But he constantly finds himself involved with crazy magical adventures that he never planned, but he stumbles into. Oh, that what you're showing there, My Dark Rose.
Yeah,
look at the inks on that.
Yeah, look at that.
I really like this finely detailed and dark inks that Larry does throughout much of this issue. There's one story that I found interesting because, of course, we're reading the early stories and the character evolved. This one by Larry Johnson has inks by the late Jim Pack and appeared in one of Jim Pack, Madame Boogala's Scarf. And Jim Pack was really excellent inker. It's towards the beginning. It's like the second story in the book. Yeah.
Can't find it.
She has a scarf that she gives to people, but she has power over the scarf, and she can send this scarf anywhere to do her bidding. And she's a little roguish, so she's gave somebody a jewel, and she sends the scarf while they're sleeping to bring the jewel back. So the scarf returns, and
I'm just noticing the artwork. It's Madame Bougala, but it's got Jim Pack.
It changes
doing
the
ink,
appearance.
so it changes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
But what happens, and this was interesting to me, Larry Johnson, I know you're watching, but at the end of the story, okay, it turns out that the person that Madame Bougala was trying to get over on had a scarab, a mystical, magical, sinister scarab of a like a insect-like creature.
Yeah.
And it comes back in her scarf, and she opens it, and it goes right after Madame Bougala.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's interesting, cause it looks like she's met her maker.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because at the end of the story it says, "Evil sorcery has murdered our wise woman." The gypsies say, "Pack up, we depart this place. This town is forever cursed." And it doesn't really. It looks like she died.
Yeah, well, we know that didn't happen.
She died. Gumar arrived to find his dying mother. Her screams alerted the whole gypsy camp and the village residents. But in the next story, which just happens to be a Lou Brown story, she's back.
She's back.
So I guess she didn't die.
Nope.
But that's good news because people who love her magical, mystical adventures.
Well, she went on along. She's still going. She's still going today, so she's around.
Didn't die.
But if you want to get the whole Madame Bougala thing, that is quite a book.
She's always channeling these demons, or these demon-like creatures. Here she is, Lou Brown himself. He's up there. He's drinking her tea. By the bottom, he becomes a creature called Avatar.
I, once again, don't see the price on the book. Did you see it anywhere?
No, but after we do this video, I'll look for it.
Yeah, I think maybe $20. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, it'd be totally worth $20.
I don't know if I read that or I imagined that, but I think it's $20.
Well, I'll find out, and the information will be down below. So I'll send the information to Larned, and I'll send a
find out. I want to put that in there so we know the price. But and you can contact Larry. We'll have his contact information up there, so you can find out the price.
This is quite a book. As I said, these stories are as fresh and new as they were.
Yep.
It details the origins of Madame Bougala.
Mm-hmm.
She was once a beautiful young gypsy lady, and it tells the story about how she met her husband, and Gumar was conceived, and
how he was conceived.
Not too many. Well, he was their child.
Oh, must be an interesting story.
Yeah, so it's Gumar's father, and he does appear later in the book. Look at this. Look at the detail here.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So she depicts
all kinds of stuff in here. Scary stuff too.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with Larry Johnson. You just can't go wrong with Larry Johnson stuff.
I'm just checking here. Being how demons are always escaping, they're wreaking havoc everywhere. You can see here the city is in. She looks out her window.
All over the whole city.
Is in turmoil.
Man,
everybody's going berserk.
Yeah.
Everybody's going nuts. Even the dog in the corner there, but they're all mad at each other right outside of her curio shop.
Outside of her place, yeah. Great stories.
A lot of work to resolve that.
Yeah.
Showed you Poroscoro earlier.
Yeah.
But it's quite a read, and I'll tell you, I was reading this all along, and you never get bored with it.
Oh no, they're always different. That's cool.
You never get bored with it. And did Larry ink all this? Because those dark inks, it's distinctive. It's like he, for a little while.
I don't know. He's got pretty good write-up in here.
Yeah, he did it.
About this. And I think he did it all.
He changes to a dark, somewhere along the line, he changed to a darker, a little bit less cartoony style, and a much darker and heavy ink style, which I really, really like.
I think the newer ones are, because they're in color, they don't have some of that,
Yeah, he might simplify the art a little bit just to make the color.
Yeah.
But
I also remember this story, The Magic Lamp. I remember that one. Yeah. Anyway, that's a great one. So we'll have all his info down below, like I say.
So, but he's working on volume 2 now. So volume 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
The story is not over. This is the city. Somehow Madame Boogaloo saved the day on that one. Remember the crazy people going, now everybody's calm. You see the dog is just sitting there.
They recovered.
And, that was resolved. And it's a darn good thing. But she's always on the edge of something sinister, something destructive. And it's hard to tell at times if she is a hero or a villain.
That is true. These demons that she conjures up,
even using her own son, as a portal for Squirrel, one of the most vile demons. Venom and snakes and dogs' heads and coming out of his body, just wild and crazy stuff. But she's under a curse. Apparently, she's under a curse. If you read the book, you'll find out all about the curse. But she has to allow these demons entrance into our dimension, into our world from time to time. So she tries to limit that as best she can, but sometimes the demons are too much for her to control.
Yeah. So, quite a story. Quite a story.
It's really great. Really gripping stuff. So.
Okay. One more. We got one more here.
Yeah, and this is Tony Lorenz.
Pacesetter.
It began, 20 years ago or something as the George Perez newsletter. There's George in the middle between the Scarlet Witch and Wonder Woman. And on the back cover, it's even closer, but it looks just like George Perez. I've seen him at MegaCon before, a few years back, before he passed away. But Tony had been publishing Pacesetter, which has a lot of great reproductions of George's artwork and stuff. He's been publishing this for quite a while. Now, somewhere along the lines, and before it had articles and stories and about George Perez, his history, and the history of Marvel and DC Comics. You can't ignore the impact that George Perez made over these decades. And all throughout, you have some of his fans and other professional artists and writers giving their tributes, and showing pictures of themselves. This would be Michael Rogers, Marv Wolfman. Yeah, Marv Wolfman is on the next page. Marv Wolfman, the great writer for Marvel, and that's George Perez when he was young and had black hair. Whoops, right there. So, but
if you want to know about George Perez, this will tell you. This is comprehensive. Yep.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan.
This particular issue. Now, Marvel and DC, believe it or not, they sent, started as the George Perez newsletter. Later, he changed the name, Tony Lorenz changed the name to Pacesetter. But he got a message from lawyers of Marvel and DC Comics, a cease and desist letter. Because they didn't like the fact that he was publishing, even though it was just, the whole book was dedicated to George Perez.
Right.
But he was publishing copyrighted pictures of copyrighted characters and stuff. And, maybe Tony Lorenz will come along and explain a little bit more about what happened there. But he was forced to cease publishing this. even though it was just a a tribute
Mm-hmm.
book, or it was. And I think that's Tom Felrath right there. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
never met George Perez.
Yeah.
So
Article.
he talks about a lot of people get in here, people that we respect and
Yeah.
admire,
Yeah.
and they talk about the impact that George Perez. I mean, I first discovered him with Crisis on Infinite Earths with DC Comics, which is an
Uh-huh.
unbelievable series. It's the father of all multiverse stories.
Yeah.
They went on for a year, and it was really amazing. Uh, but he also did the new Teen Titans and a lot of other stuff. So,
Well,
and,
there's
and
I was just going to say there's a tremendous amount to read in here.
mhm,
All kinds of articles and things to read, plus all the artwork you can look at. Beautiful,
yep,
beautiful artwork reproduced in here. So it's really something.
yep. George
Yep.
Perez. He drew practically every single Marvel or DC character
Really.
ever. I mean, he drew
Wow.
like everybody.
Mm.
He did Wonder Woman. He did a JLA versus Avengers matchup. I remember this Star Trek cover.
Star Trek. Yeah.
I remember that when it came out.
Here, Shazam.
Shazam, yeah,
Look at
Captain
that.
Marvel,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, but
So
all
the
these
art,
people go
you know,
through.
the like I say, the artwork in here is really something to see.
Yeah,
If you
some of the
want all
artwork,
that in one place, you get it all
most
in
of
this
it's
book. You know.
yeah, mostly by George, but occasionally there's
Yeah, I'm
even some
sure
of
that
his earlier. There's a couple other people who do artwork in
this
here.
one is for George that I was showing you here. That's for George. That
Uh,
was not George, but it was done for him.
it looks like him.
But
It just shows
it
the
says,
influence he had on other people.
yeah,
This is
KM. KM did it, whoever KM is. I
okay.
don't know.
This is some old small press work by George Perez before he really got involved in the mainstream of
Mm,
comics.
mm-hmm.
Uh, I think I read that Stan Lee was instrumental in getting him involved with Marvel Comics.
Mm.
Um, um, but you have tributes from people all the way through. Dan Jurgens. Oh, there's an interview. There's an interview by Greg Gustines that was written a few months before George's passing.
Mm.
And George already knew that his days were going to be numbered. What do you have? Is pancreatic cancer? Pancreatic cancer.
Oh.
But he kept doing interviews. He kept appearing at conventions,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, that's beautiful artwork.
Beautiful.
And he just kept, he finally there was a day where he announced that he was retiring,
Mm-hmm.
retiring from comics because he had to for the obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Layton. Let's see.
What was the price on this book, Steve? Do you remember?
We always get to this point. What
Yeah.
is the price?
I don't know.
Yeah, I got to start writing this stuff down before we do the show.
Well, it's something
Okay, okay. There
I
is
think,
This is the hardcover.
yeah. There's two
This
two
one is
types.
about $40, available
Yeah.
directly from Amazon.
Okay.
And
I thought it was
we
about
were
that.
we're fortunate enough to have the hard copy. There's also a
Yeah.
paperback version, just as nice, but it's $15. So you can order the
Yeah.
paperback edition
You can get the
for
$15 one.
$15 from Amazon, and
Yeah.
it's well worth it. It's well worth it, especially if you're a George
If you're a
Perez
fan. Yep. If you are a fan, you should get it. I would think. Yeah.
or if you love classic comics or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I got from reading all these stories, all the people, and they took pictures with everybody.
Yeah.
I remember when I was at MegaCon, and Tony Lorenz was there too, and he says George Perez is over there. So I went over there, but it had a line a block long of people that wanted. And from what I read here, he was so gracious. That he would give you a hug. He would draw sketches for you. And most of the time he didn't charge for that, or he sent the proceeds to charity.
Yeah.
But he didn't
Wow.
make any money. He did, and the thing, and also people in here, and several people said this. he would come in early, like an hour before the convention was started,
Mm-hmm.
and he would stay after the convention was closed until everyone in line had got to speak with him and got a picture and an
No kidding.
autograph. And he was that kind of a gracious person. He said that he never forgot the fans, the people who put him in that position, and he didn't want to let anybody down. So apparently, this was one heck of a kind, gracious, wonderful, wonderfully talented individual. And I see his influence. Tony Lorenz has a little bit of a George Perez. I've told him before. Told Tony, I said, you're the George Perez of small press. But he can do something. He can do something that George did. He can put a whole lot of characters in one panel and not make it look cluttered.
Oh man,
that's a real talent.
Super artwork.
Yeah. So that's why George was the perfect choice for Crisis on Infinite Earths, because it featured every single character you could possibly imagine in the DC universe, and was quite a heck of a story. So
great books. I think we had a great collection of books for this episode. Really,
absolutely,
yeah.
And we got to get to Steve Willis next time, no doubt.
Steve Willis, we got to do next time.
And Joseph Morris.
Joseph Morris, yes.
Yep.
Joseph Morris is part of the ones we got from space. Steve Willis is not. Steve Willis, if you don't know, you can't buy Steve Willis comics. You can only trade for them, send postage or something like that, but there's no price and you can't buy them. If you try to buy it, he won't send it to you. Only if you request him to send it to you, you trade for something, you send some stamps, and if you don't do that, he may send it to you anyway. So you can't buy it.
It's well worth it. He's the funniest, most funniest, wittiest people you could possibly imagine.
And a pioneer.
Yep.
Pioneer of small press. Been doing it for years. And he was at space, he told me, twice. He was there in 2018 and 2011. And I missed him both times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Joseph Morris was there, and Ian Shires there. Kurt Erickson, whom I've known through the UFO. He was a UFO chairman back in the 1970s. He publishes Endeavor. We're going to have a review of that one coming up because he has a new one out. But I've known him for 50 years, never met him in person. And a lot of other people. Yeah, and there was a lot of other people. Keith Newsom and Bob Corby himself, who puts on the con. And
the disappointment was Matt Feazell was ill and could not make the con.
Couldn't make it.
That was big. That was kind of a disappointment.
And Max Inc. Max Inc. was there. I kept looking for Max
didn't
Inc.
make it. Yeah.
But we had a great time. If you haven't seen the video of it's the one before this.
Yeah.
On
Go ahead and watch
channel
it.
There. The video
give
of
you an idea what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yep. Now,
all right. Well.
So what we're going to do, what Larned suggests, and I think he's right, is we were hoping to catch up on the stuff we received in the mail.
Right.
Today. But we didn't quite make it, so we got a little more catching up to do. But then we want to proceed to start reviewing
the comics we bought. Yeah.
All of the great comics that we traded for
or bought or whatever we did at the show.
Space,
so I think that'll probably start next episode. I think we can do that next episode. We'll get we'll do Steve Willis and. The rest of them will be from the show that day. So, okay. Well, we'll close this one out. Hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to like us and also subscribe so you know.
We hope you like us. If you don't like us, please don't tell us.
Yeah, don't tell us that. Subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when we're on. Do all those exciting things. And we will see you next issue. Next episode, which won't be very long. Coming up pretty quick.
What do you mean it won't be very long? It might be a long episode, but it won't be a long time.
But it won't be long before we do it.
All right. We'll see you then.
We'll see you. Goodbye.
Adios.
Well, welcome to episode 46 of Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter over there and me, Larned Justin. Glad you could join us. Yeah, I'm way over here. He's
way on the other side there.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to everybody about a little something. You folks that send us comics, I mean, we just really appreciate that. We try and do the best we can with promoting them. And I'd like to give a little something back. And what I came up with is the fact that I live about 5 minutes from a store called Red Brick Collectible Toys and Games. But they also have comic books. And I went over and I talked to the owner and I said, would you have any, or do you know what small press comics are? He said, no. No, I never heard the term. So I explained to him what small press comics were. I said, would there be any chance that you would be interested in handling those? And, you know, they're from people all over the world and they're amateur comic books. And he got all, I had brought some samples. He got all excited. He said, oh, absolutely we'll do this. And I'm going, really? And he said, oh, for sure. I said, I mean, you sure you have room? I'll make room, he said. So the deal is, I've got a rack, and you'll see it here on the screen, that I'm going to set up in their store. If your comic book sells, he gets half the cover price, and you get half the cover price. I will send you half the cover price if your book sells. It's a little thing, and may only pay for a little bit of postage, but it's something that we can give back to you. And we're going to do it. It was supposed to be in there Saturday, but the store was closed because he went to a show, Toys and Games show in Lebanon, Missouri. But he will be back open on Wednesday, and I will bring the thing over to him on Wednesday, and we'll get started.
When I was there visiting you, Larned, you drove me by there.
Yeah, it wasn't open.
It was on a day when that was when it wasn't open.
They're only open 3 days a week. Yeah. But he said, we are going to stick with this. It's a little rough, but he said, we're going to make a go of this. And you'll see in the pictures I put up here in the middle what the store looks like. And we're going to see what happens. I'm excited about it. And anytime a book sells, I'll have an inventory of the books. I'll go over there and see which one's gone. I'll collect the money, and then I'll put another comic in its place. So, yeah, yours may not get in there for a little while, but sometime it's going to get in there.
But and it might sell. And this guy's like sort of retired, right? So he's like an older guy?
Well, no, he has another job. And he works in the store. He said he does not pay himself a salary at this point. Okay, but he's in the store 3 days a week.
This particular endeavor, running this store a few days a week, is a labor of love for this guy.
Yes.
He's doing it's like what we do, small press comics.
It's the same
labor
thing.
Of love.
But he has a store full of you know, older games and toys that people collect.
Yeah.
But he also has comics. I bought comics there, and I found some real old ones. So anyway, he's excited. I'm excited. Great. I hope you guys are excited.
The other thing I want to say about small press is it's not necessarily amateur comics. It's
not necessarily.
There's a lot of people.
People are pro level.
Yeah, absolutely.
But trying to explain to him what they were.
With a small print run.
Right. I told him that.
So,
and I did come up with a write-up of what small press comics are, and he can hand those out free to people. So, anyway, that's what we're doing. We're excited about it, and can't wait to get going.
Well, that's what the show's about. We're promoting small press, in any kind of way we can do it. And Larned came up with this great idea, and I think it's,
Well, I was so surprised.
Cool
I went in there thinking that he'll never do this. He doesn't have room to put up a display, and I was totally wrong. He is on board, so I'm on board.
I'm on board too, by golly.
Yes, and Steve is on board. And if you find a comic shop near you, Steve, you can do the same thing.
Yep.
What are we going to do for our show today?
Well, we got a few comics. We got a few comics to review.
These are the ones from space.
Yeah.
These are the ones we got from space. So
we got one from Michael Neno.
Yes.
It's like a micro comic.
And this is really little. Look how little this is.
Yeah,
I get back here.
Very tiny.
They're little bitty.
Yeah.
And he did the drawings in here.
This is an index card.
This is Michael's you can see how little it is.
So it's pretty small.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
It's pretty. And the story is I Love a Clock. And they come up with this. How is this now? They buy the clock. It's a special clock that they come across.
He's taking artwork from like the 1950s and artwork and creating an entirely new story around it. It says
so he just okay. At first I thought that was his, but it's not.
No,
he's just pasting up old.
Yeah, it's artwork that's in the public domain. He says here, by Ernie Hart and probably Bill Fracchio. But Larned. Larned is over here. Larned is he's not the guy that did this.
I'm not inside the book.
Michael takes these old comic book images and he creates his own story. He puts in new dialogue.
Yeah, he puts in his word balloons in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Darling, Boopsie here is asking us again about the special clock. And Boopsie would be the little doggy.
The dog talks.
The little doggy.
He's a talking dog.
Yep.
He talks, and
he says,
he controls the universe
with the power this clock holds. I can control the universe.
The dog, and I'm thinking this may actually be happening right now. The way the universe is going.
Yeah,
it's probably a dog running things, but so this may be true. But anyway, the story goes on, and I hate to, you can't really give away these stories, but it's very cool.
There's this gentleman and his wife, and the wife, he's concerned. The gentleman is concerned about what's going to happen with the clock, because she knows the clock is all powerful. She says, I have the clock, and I'll destroy it.
Yeah, but not so easily done.
Not so easily.
Yeah.
Along the lines, you hear a voice, and you see the doggy. You see the doggy right there.
Yeah, right there.
Step away from the clock.
The clock. You've heard that before.
And she's no.
Step away from the clock.
Stay back. Stay back.
Yeah. Don't tell them the end. That's it. We're not telling you the end.
I have no idea what the original dialogue on this was, or where Michael Neno, where he got this.
I don't know where he got it either.
But the new dialogue is just genius. It's it's so funny.
Here's the thing: the price on this is $4. It's full color. It's real little. But his price is $4, so that's what it is. And we'll have all his information down below. If you buy more than one, you get a discount, if you want to buy more than one. Yep.
In 100 years, my Kettlekin will rule this human-tainted world.
The world. And I have a feeling that's coming right now. So that's I Love a Clock.
Great job from Mike Neno, and I got a kick out of this.
Yeah,
got a
great
kick.
stuff.
So that's pretty funny stuff.
Great stuff. Okay, what do you got?
Well, I also found out that Michael Neno, and I wasn't aware of this. I've known Mike for decades, and we've corresponded and everything, and it was cool to meet him at Space. He has his own comic shop, and I didn't know this.
I did not know that. I've never heard him mention it. I did not know that.
He has a comic shop. He had a really big table, twice the size of what we had at Space. And we didn't mind because it's Michael Neno, and we love the guy.
Yeah.
So, so
this is Rock and Roll Splendor, which he is part of.
Right. Michael Neno did the artwork for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And the guy that produces it is, it's one of these deals where it's upside down, half of it's upside down, so you gotta get it right.
I had to print. I sent Mike a message and I asked him about this.
Yeah.
It's written and published by Keith Cretin, but that's not his real name. His name is Keith. It looks like Cusino or Cuisino, but I think it's Cousineau. Cusino, something like that.
He goes
but
by
he works
Cretin.
at the comic
Makes
shop.
It easier.
He's also in a band. This guy Keith. He's in a band called the Atomic Zombies.
Right.
And apparently, from what I'm reading here and from what I read in the book, they do covers of the Ramones material.
Yeah.
Which is a band that I loved. You know, the punk rock days, the Ramones were right there at the front. 3 chords, never had a guitar solo in the song, but everything they did was rock and roll. I mean, it was total rock and roll, so I love the Ramones.
There's a couple of stories in here. One is called The Ungrateful Dead, and that one is story and layouts by Keith Cretin, arts and letters, Keith Cretin, Dan Atkins, Mike Neno, and Greg Donschatz, and the credits Keith Cretin. And there's another story called Eye in the Sky. Story and layouts by Keith Cretin, art by Darrell Banks. Art assists Keith Cretin, Ian Nichols, edits and letters Keith Cretin. So this one is Eye in the Sky. I do believe that one is the first page of Eye in the Sky. Isn't that right? Eye in the Sky. Yep, that's right.
Look at the same book. You have the same cover on this?
Yeah, I do. This? Oh, wait a minute.
Michael gave us 2 different books.
You're not kidding. No wonder you're not agreeing with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
2 different books.
But
we
that's
didn't
cool.
know that. I thought, oh my gosh. Well, what's the 2 stories in your book?
Well, there's one big story in this book.
Oh, okay.
Cretin Hop, the Punkaroo team-up origin, art by Michael Neno, and he's Cretin, the character Keith Cretin himself, is being accosted by an Elvis impersonator who happens to be part of a group of Elvis impersonators. How about that?
We did not realize we both had different books. They look similar.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at them, they kind of look a little similar, and we didn't realize it. This one's upside down because it's the other side. But
and this one has a lot of crazy stuff in it. A lot of
they both do. I can tell you that because
it's a monster comic.
That I have a monster comic in here.
Yeah.
The Ungrateful Dead is a monster comic also, and this is the one that Michael Neno has done some of the panels. You may notice that kind of a panel is Michael Neno.
Interesting that we both have different books, but that's cool.
We're
happy.
And
this is a baby kangaroo called a joey, the Australian term of joey, and there's a bunch of kangaroos in a cage here going, "Gabba gabba, we accept you, one of us," which is, of course, if you don't know, first of all, it's lyrics to a Ramones song, and secondly, these lyrics were taken from the 1930s shock horror movie Freaks. Which actually, it was controversial at the time because it actually presented actual circus freaks in the story, but they were very sympathetic pictures, sympathetic portraits of these particular characters. So, but at the time it was kind of controversial. It was banned for years, but it was actually a really good movie, and it said something. It had a shock, scary ending. It was really way ahead of its time. And
I
anyway,
show you a little bit of. This is Darryl Banks' art in here, which I think pretty good. Look at that.
So that's Darryl Banks.
Pretty cool. That's Darryl Banks.
Okay.
He does a nice job in here with this story, Eye in the Sky. I think. Really cool. And he's the guy. Is he the guy in the band, or is it Cretan?
Cretan is in the band.
Okay.
We're just discovering this, so there's probably stuff we haven't figured out. We have to put put things together and get the entire picture. There's some good art in this. Here he is. Here's a.
Oh yeah, there's Joey.
Yeah, Joey. With a kangaroo on top of him.
This is only it's only $2, so you can't go wrong.
Absolutely not.
Very cool. You could get both of these for $4.
From the Cretan Comics Group. That's what mine says.
Yeah. Mine does not say that, but oh yes, it does. It does say it by the price. It says Cretan Comics Group. So
yeah, I'm very appreciative. I mean,
it's
Michael
very nice.
for giving us copies of these. Didn't realize they were different, but still.
Yeah, we didn't know that, but we were.
We're gonna support it either way.
This was from space, and we were grabbing things, and we weren't even looking. We were just getting stuff.
We got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we did. We got a lot to. The next few shows are going to be packed with the comics we got from space. So, all right, let's move on. What do you see next?
I have from Robert Monsarrat or Monsarrat.
Oh yeah.
Monsarrat's Monsters.
Yeah.
Now, this is the kaiju artwork. A kaiju is if you don't know, it's a giant. Well, basically it's a giant monster like Godzilla or King Kong. These are kaijus. And I went. I saw Robert. I went by his table, and he had all these posters. He was selling all these beautiful posters, beautifully painted and inked or painted, but it was of the giant monsters like King Kong's.
So that's what's in this book, right? They're reproductions of the posters?
Yeah, he reproduced most of the posters in this particular book.
Yeah.
So you'll see that. And there's a lot of cool artwork in here.
Yeah.
Some of these
Godzilla.
I haven't seen every giant monster movie ever. It looks like Gamera. Gamera the Invisible was a giant turtle-esque creature in the Toho Productions.
This is just a cool looking poster here. Not even it's just cool looking.
I like that one too. That's a good time for me to put on my colorblind glasses because I want to take a look at this.
How's it look?
It looks really blurry. Everything's moving all around. Okay, I'm just going to mention these because I just got these. I ordered these. These are the Enchroma colorblind glasses. I looked it up online. I found that I have a particular type of color blindness where I see, most people see like 3 different hues of color, different mixtures. No, most people don't. Colorblind people do. But normal people, and I never said I was normal, see like 7...
mistake.
Right, 7 hues of color. So, I mean, I did a colorblind test just last night, and they show you all these dots, and you're supposed to see the numbers. More than half the time I couldn't see the numbers. So I know I'm colorblind, but you know what? Even being colorblind,
this looks good.
Robert's artwork is great.
Yeah. This is interesting
down,
because
right side up.
Look at this. You got the ink version and the color version right in here. That's cool. Yeah, both of them. Right there. Yeah,
so he's an excellent artist.
Oh yeah.
And you got some black and white drawings in the back, so I can't complain about that at all. There's Godzilla.
I don't know. Maybe I should know who that guy is, but I don't.
Well, they got there's so many
monsters.
monsters.
Look at the original King Kong there. from the first movie. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that does look like it was like from the original movie.
Yeah. Very cool. So it's just those posters in color, most of them. I was looking for a price. I don't see the price.
There's just something about the artist.
Here's a picture of the artist, though.
Right at the very end, Monsarrat. He lives in Columbus, Ohio, which is
that's where all the cartoonists live.
Right, and there were a lot of Columbus, Ohio artists at that convention.
Yeah.
So he does have his
BFA in illustration.
Well, he's got a couple of links to his websites. One on Tumblr and one on DeviantArt. So you can follow those links.
Yeah, we'll put those links in the description because that's all we have. There's no price on the book or anything like that, so you could contact them, and if you want to see that, that'd be cool.
But he's a super artist.
Oh,
it's really, really nice.
Really good.
Well, that would be Godzilla and Gamera.
Yeah.
Gamera the Invincible. I saw the original movie way back in the late 1960s.
Oh, really?
You know, giant flying turtle. Sounds wacky, right? But somehow in these films it seems to make sense. What can I tell you about the Japanese monster movies?
Yeah, we all know what they are like.
Yeah. So,
all right, let's go on to something exciting. What do we got?
We got Small Press Party right here.
Oh, yeah. From
Joseph Morris. Our pal Joseph Morris.
And Terry Flippo cover.
Right, Terry Flippo did the cover. That's
nice.
Incredible.
Cover.
He also does the back cover where he gives a little biography of himself.
Yeah, a little
quick
bit about Terry Flippo because he has a story in here also.
Yeah, and he's one of my favorite small press comics ever. I mean, I've been following this guy for years.
Yeah.
And
he has it's a secret origin of Axel and Alex.
Right.
Right here. That's the story that Terry does for Joseph Morris in this book. And it's very neat.
These are his long-running characters, Axel and Alex. Alex is the little geeky guy, you know.
But this is when he first met the robot. Very cool. Yeah.
And this shows how he was created at the very beginning. How he ordered Alex ordered a robot, a kit to make robots out of an old comic book. Put them together, and it ended up being Axel.
Yeah.
But Axel looks kind of small here. He was actually
he was actually real big.
Yeah, he was expecting from the ad. Where's the ad? The ad's right here to have this big, giant, powerful robot.
Didn't quite turn out that way.
Not at the beginning. I mean, later, if you've been following the series, Alex or Axel did get big, and but this is great. Yeah. It's alive! It's alive! Terrific art by Terry Flippo. But this is just the beginning. I guess it's going to be continued.
I think. Then the other stories are by Joseph Morris.
Yeah, I wrote those. That was me. No.
Jason DeGroot wrote some of this.
Jason DeGroot wrote Crimson and Clover over and over.
That's this one by art by Joseph Morris. Now, Joseph Morris has an art style different than anybody else. Period.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's nobody that draws like he does. He is completely different as far as I can tell.
Zany, no holds barred, a true original, and just he has all these funny ideas.
And these are, I think, like it's a dragon, and it gets cloned. The dragon gets cloned here.
Right. Well, you got the dragon is Crimson. Okay.
Yeah, Crimson.
So the other character in the story is Clover. If you know the old Tommy James and the Shondell song, Crimson and Clover, over and over. That is, in fact, the title of this story. Clover comes home expecting everything. Clover's a cow. It's a cow.
Clover is a cow, yes.
Yeah. Comes home expecting everything. He lives with a dragon named Crimson, who's rather a lazy fellow and doesn't do anything. But when he gets home, he sees Crimson is mowing the yard. And
it's not like him.
Right, that's not like him at all because he's a lazy sort. And what happens is what he discovers is that this isn't the Crimson that he knew.
Right, this
is a Crimson who stumbled on he just happened to have a cloning a machine to make clones in his house. Just happened to be there.
Yeah.
No particular reason.
Yeah, he stumbled over it. It was there. And
well, the message, do not use...
Most people have a cloning machine in their house, so there's nothing unusual about that.
Crimson bumps into it, accidentally creates a clone, and then accidentally creates another clone and another clone. Next thing you know, there's all these clones running around, and but you know, it's cool because he's doing all the chores around the house. He's doing all the hard work.
Yeah, they're busier than heck.
Yeah. And it's okay until
for him.
Until Clover. When Clover gets a clone, there's a little bit of a disagreement, and they're not too happy about it. You see, the two cows are yelling at each other.
Yeah. And the other story we have is Octopus Jones.
By Leighton Connor.
Edict equals danger.
Right. Edict is apparently an organization that the extra-dimensional invasion control team.
Yeah.
Now let me say, I want to say something because this is written by Leighton Connor, and I met Leighton Connor at the Space Convention. Leighton knows the story. Somebody told me that's Max Inc. right over there. That's Max Inc. Ian Shires told me that. It's okay. We were a long ways away.
Yeah.
I forgive you, Ian. But I went over, you're Max Inc. And he said, no.
Nope.
And I found out.
They didn't look like Max Inc.
They didn't look like Max Inc. Max didn't make it to the convention, but Leighton did. And so I started talking with Leighton and looking at some of his artwork and stuff. And a little bit later, he was over at Joseph Morris's table, which was just across from Larned and my table. Mm-hmm. And I went over there. And, okay, I'm sorry, I messed up your name there, but what's your name? He said, Leighton. I said, okay, Clayton Connor. And he said, and you can see in the space video, it's a little embarrassing. He says, Leighton. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll never forget it again.
No, you know it now.
Leighton is a great guy, a very talented writer, and a very talented comics creator. And we have a character here called Octopus Jones.
That team that we just talked about with those initials, they're right there. You see them? That's them. I'm not sure where they're from. Somewhere in space. I forget where.
Well, they're trying to like it's the multiverse. The multiverse once again, as in the Flash movie, and the last Spider-Man, wherever you go, the multiverse is like totally gone bonkers, even in small press comics. And they're charging Octopus Jones. The Octopus Jones is just this funny-looking guy.
Yeah, look at that guy.
Yeah, he just shows up. He shows up at this place and to buy a pizza.
Yeah.
And everything goes crazy. These guys come after him. This says, you, Octopus Jones, you are charged with 27 counts of unlicensed interdimensional travel, disruption of the quantum membrane, flagrant violation of planar boundaries, interference with protected cosmic entities. Sounds like they got him good.
His hands up. I give up. That's it. So he gives up.
Yeah, then there's a bit of a fight. Yep. There's a bit of a fight, because they're gonna drag him away and imprison him.
Yeah, there you go. A little action.
Yeah, a little action. But he finds an ally. Anyway, I won't tell you the entire story.
No, we don't want to. There's a lot of action.
The thing, it's not his fault. It's not Octopus Jones. It's not his fault. He's wearing a suit that just happens to at unexpected times, transport him to different dimensions or different planes of reality. And so, yeah, I mean, the ending's kind of funny. I don't want to give it away, but he does. It seems he finally gets his pizza.
There's the pizza. We could show that. There's the pizza. Got that.
Or so it seems. But nothing is as it seems in this story, so. Great script by Leighton. And excellent artwork by Joseph Morris.
And a little
kick out of this.
thing on the back from Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Terry.
Yeah.
Hello, readers.
And this was enclosed with mine. Did you get this?
No, I did not.
Torktoon's Funny Pages. Well, it's Coyote.
I may have, but I didn't pull it out for our show. I didn't realize.
Some of Joseph Morris's stuff that doesn't appear in here, but Joseph is so prolific, and he puts a new strip up on Facebook every single day. There's
I don't know how he
does
does it, but he does it.
And Coyote.
You can follow the story every day.
He also has the Dolphin Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And just a lot of other stuff, and he never seems to run out of ideas. So, one of the funniest guys out there. You meet him in person, and
great guy.
He's
very
personable. Doesn't seem immediately funny. Just seems like a great guy, a very intelligent guy. But you know what? He's funny.
I did a story for him that's going to come out in his next issue of Small Press Party. That'll be out, I think, in the fall. So I did do that, and stay tuned for that.
Okay, looking forward to that.
Okay, what do we got next?
Are we saving Steve Willis for last, or are we going to go with...
yeah, we could save him for last, I guess.
We got Cornelia here.
We got Cornelia, which is Kel Crum, one of our favorite humorists.
Kel Crum. He was, again, he was right across the aisle from us.
Yeah, he was right. He didn't come the second day, but he was there the first day.
Yeah.
And pretty busy, too.
Yeah,
a lot of people at his table.
He crashed our space video, made it a lot better than it otherwise would have been.
Right.
If you haven't seen it, check back, because we had a great time.
We had a hard time getting him to come around behind the table and getting a picture, but he finally did it.
And then he took over. He just took over the show.
He took over the whole show,
Yeah.
These are all different Cornelia stories that may have, I'm sure they were, published before, but if you haven't seen them, I've just got to give you this one panel. This is my favorite. And can you hold this up while I read it? It's on
the
page...
Protest Gypsies. The problem is the pages aren't numbered.
They're not, but it's about in the middle, and it's we are the Protest Gypsies. I just wanted to read you what they say.
Let me see if I can find that. That's when
if you could
Cornelia is getting involved with a group of radical people.
It's right after Ed Thudd's story.
Who all have ADHD. They protest something different every week.
That's what I was going to do. Oh, okay.
And there they are, the Protest Gypsies.
That's what I was going to read.
Well, I thought you wanted me to hold this up while you read it.
I did, but you kind of gave away the... Okay, let me do this.
It's still funny.
They tell Cornelia, we are the Protest Gypsies. We travel near and far, protesting all that is unfair. Since we all have ADHD, we switch to different causes each week so we don't lose interest. And Cornelia says, hey, that's for me. I only have ADD. I don't have the patience to include the H. Can I join? Great stuff.
Honestly, I am Zelda. At night I play beautiful music beneath the stars. And she says, play Eminem. That'll stick it to Whitey. Well, these people, it's hilarious.
Cornelia is something else. She's always... And there's not only Cornelia, they got Ed Thudd in here too. If you know who Ed Thudd is, he's in here also. Ed Thudd and his new CD story, that's in here.
Yeah.
And he's in here. And then what else we got?
A lot of crazy stuff happens. Cornelia gets fired from her job at Small Mart. In a story called Business as Usual.
Yep.
And there she is. There's
and
Cornelia.
she kind of, in one of these stories, she goes a little bit punk. You can see her right there. She's got the ring in the nose. She got the hairdo, you know.
Well, she's being a Spice Girl.
Yeah.
That's the story where it became legal. For everyone is supposed to have 15 minutes of fame. So a law was passed where everyone has 15 minutes of fame. So this was during her.
This is hers.
Her 15 minutes of fame. It was decided that she would be a Spice Girl, corny Spice, and she has 15 minutes to pull this off.
Yeah.
They come after her. They get her interviewed on a TV show and everything, but they have to do it all in 15 minutes. So it's pretty much a riot.
Here's her dad. I just want to show you. Here's Cornelia's dad. Right there. That's her dad.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that was a good story too.
That's a good story too. That one, it's just called a Cornelia story, but it's
he enters a beauty contest. Her dad enters a beauty contest.
Yeah.
He's doing it for men. He's doing it for the male of the species. Let's see what happened. We have to look back here a little bit. But he thinks that feminism has gotten needlessly out of control. It's gotten way out of control.
Yeah.
And her dad says he's going to do something about it. He's going to stand up for men by running for a beauty contest. And if you're not woke enough, you have to vote for him because
he gets a call in the middle of this. He has to answer the phone.
Yeah.
Hello, your caller number. Don't have sex. That has been the answer. I've been married 29 years, and I've done okay without it for ages. Just take a jog.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
He's going to enter, and they decide. Okay, there's some controversy because it's a man entering a female beauty contest.
Yeah,
right. Little controversy. So these guys call in this elder lady. Let's see. To decide the thing, she's sort of like the head of the whole thing, and she's standing there with a syringe in her head. This turns out to be Botox. So she forgot to remove the syringe. She's injecting herself with Botox, and you see what happens. All of a sudden, she's beautiful. Except she has she's all saggy and all, and she has hairy legs. Other than that, that's the effects of the Botox.
Yeah.
So I guess her dad and Cornelia are kind of like shocked to see this.
Yeah.
So it's just off the wall, just crazy stuff. Like Kel has a million ideas. He never runs out of ideas.
Yeah, he's just funny. He's just plain old funny. And he has a drawing style that supports his humor perfectly.
Yeah.
I always like Cornelia. She always has one hair sticking out of her head, like that, and one sock down and one sock up. That's how you know her. Yeah.
It's just one crazy story after another after another.
Yeah.
But this is an absolute. I mean, this is classic. This is classic stuff. This is Kel Crum at his very best.
At his best, yeah. And this, it says for more mature readers, you can take that. It's mild humor. I mean, I don't see a problem
There's some
with
sexual humor.
A little bit,
but it's
nothing
not
major.
overblown. It's not really bad.
I can't. Again, Kel, I don't see a price anywhere on here. Although it does have a code right there, but I don't see a price. But I'll give you his address, and you can contact him and find out
I mean,
more about
story. He's got a story about ice cream. We all scream
for ice cream.
Where one of the other ladies in the group, and one of her acquaintances, who's in there. Where are we at? Am I on the right page? Yeah, Helen.
Okay.
Helen Boomer introduces her to an ice cream called Chocolate Orgasm, and apparently this is better than the real the thing that's being described in the name of the chocolate.
Here's okay, go ahead. I was going to show you
at the end, they wanted, they asked if the men folk have ever experienced this. At the very end, you see a guy. I don't mind giving away the end of this one.
That's all right.
Yeah, he's got a can of a chocolate orgasm, and he says, "Dudes, I'm taking this ice cream behind the bushes one last time." So you see what's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now here is Ed Thud, and he's waking up in the morning here. So his morning routine, he's gargling, and then right here he shaves his tongue.
Right.
He shaves his tongue right there, and ouch, ooch, each. He's kind of combing his hair there, but he's having a hard time. So anyway, unbelievable. Very funny. Yeah,
and in the earlier Ed Thud story, he's been voted Employee of the Month. Mm-hmm. But suddenly his head falls off.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
So then they take away the award,
Yeah. You can't get the award with your head off.
He has a romantic affair with this beautiful lady, and he's feeling like, wow, this is like the penultimate moment in my life. I'm in love, but then his head falls off again.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get the girl after all, because if your head keeps falling off, you're not going to get very far in life.
That's a problem. That is a definite problem.
I laughed the whole way through this.
Oh, me too.
I'm
laughing and crying trying to read the doggone thing. My kind of humor. Maybe it's not for everybody. I don't know, but I like it.
I believe it because I actually paid for this one. I believe it was $10 a copy. I think it's $10.
Is that what you think it was?
From Kel Crum, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because it looked so good, and even just knowing Kel Crum's reputation, is one of the funniest guys on the planet.
Oh yeah.
I ordered 2 copies, one for Larned and one for myself. So I'm glad I did. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Great. Okay, we got other stuff.
I got at least one more here. How far are we into this video?
Are we going with...
Let's go with Steve Willis.
Steve Willis, Cranium Frenzy number 18. This is brand new from Steve. Mm-hmm. Always remember, Steve Willis, you cannot buy his comics. Always remember that you either trade for his comics or send postage or whatever, and once you get on his mailing list, he will send you comics. You do not pay for them, though, so there's no price on this. And I'm telling you, this Cranium Frenzy is way out there. This one
is a wild one.
He outdoes himself.
Wildly creative.
Yeah, this one is really different.
All things change.
Yeah.
There's a guy there.
Yep.
And a bunch of ants show up on the table, and they eventually consume his entire body.
Yep.
Until he's being replaced by a giant ant-like creature. But here we go.
We got at the end.
Right. These little teeny guys show up.
Yeah.
You see the little teeny guys here?
Yeah, these guys
that pop up in Steve Willis's stories.
Yeah.
They pop up. And they go back in. They overwhelm the ants, apparently.
Looks like
it. And he comes back looking like a Steve Willis creation again.
Yeah, right in the end, the ants or the little men, little bitty men, saved him.
Totally logical. Totally logical. It makes sense to me. That's the way it would go.
I like this next one. There's a pig with a microphone in my ivy, is the name of this. And it's actually a song.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did.
Steve, every once in a while, writes a nice song. There's a pig with a microphone in my ivy. He sings like a guy from a club that's divey. He croons all day and he croons all night. And it sleeps in my dreams. It's an awful fright. That's this panel here. His lyrics are about bile, acid receptors, and a mole with a crown and 2 liverwurst scepters. Have you ever seen, I'm going to show you liverwurst scepters right here.
Right, there they are. That's a mole.
That's
with
the mole
scepters.
with the liverwurst scepters. I mean, I don't know. The mole dug a hole he thought went to China, but he ended up surfacing in Earl, North Carolina. You ever been to Earl, North Carolina?
No, I was born in North Carolina. I never heard of Earl, North Carolina.
Never heard of Earl. But this guy wound up there.
Not Earl the town, but Earl, a guy in the South, who was shocked to find a mole climbing out of his mouth.
That's the story. There is no Earl, South Carolina. It's this guy.
Yeah,
right, I mean,
there. You can say there's a hint of Dr. Seuss in the poetic structure of this story, but I don't think, even Dr. Seuss, I don't think ever went this far.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody's gone this far, except Steve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
so that goes on and on.
Yeah, that's a great
He ends up
story.
swallowing a trout, a fish.
Yep.
And on and on and on. It just
I wish we would have put this to music so you could have played it on the guitar.
Yep.
Because I think it was being a great song.
Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Up next, Ship of Fools, right here.
Which again, that's a wildly experimental, creative story. Because it starts out, you got a guy, everything's in white, and he's on a milky ocean, and traveling along.
There he is. He's on the ship.
On a sea of milk.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah. So you can tell because everything's white.
He sees a black ship. And and then as he's looking at it, and he's got all these dark specks.
Yeah, and as the lines of definition around me begin to fade.
Began to fade until
he
settled. That's the special effects. Settle. The glasses end up on the ground.
Yeah. Settle. And he's gone. The lines faded. That's not Steve's fault.
And then these doggies look like Morty the dog.
Yeah.
They enter the picture with the dark specs on. And they encounter this guy. And
yeah, he's back again. I don't know how he got back, but he is back again. He's on the lounge chair. Morty, the two Morty the dogs, they
end up on a mountain of gelatin, and they sank. And our hero eats the gelatin.
I think he ate the gelatin, didn't he?
Yeah, and looked like it killed him. They killed him, so then he falls, but his shadow is still there. His shadow still exists.
Yeah.
And this is after that, everything goes in negative. You're in a shadow world.
Yeah.
And it kind of repeats the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of something like this. I
wouldn't either. I mean, it's just you gotta really be good to come up with this kind of stuff.
So wildly creative till you get to the point where the glasses fall again. Settle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he shows you two worlds. One leads inevitably to the other, and none of it makes any sense at all. But it's pretty darn funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So he goes on. He's got more stuff in here.
He's done himself with craziness in this book. That's for sure.
Yeah. I like this one. The funniest joke in the world.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at that. The funniest joke in the world.
So this guy at the beginning of the story is he's getting ready to tell the funniest joke in the world. Rusty Jingle Pickle. I love the names he comes up with. Here I'm going to share with you the funniest joke in the world.
A porcupine and a life insurance salesman walk into a bar. He's starting to joke.
And then it gets interrupted because space aliens they're interrupting they're messing with the frequencies.
You see, frequency is changing. Look at the frequency is going as he's starting to joke.
Right there, and they take over the comic.
Yeah.
With a grim message for humankind. You are killing your planet. You poison the air and water, and as a result have triggered destructive climate change, which you claim does not exist. And he goes on and on and on.
You are obsessed with material wealth and social status, creating a world of haves and have-nots, which can only exist for so long until inevitably bloody upheaval.
Deadly serious.
That's what this guy says.
Right? And
right there.
At the end, I now return you to the comic story in progress, so you can hear the end of the joke. And I'm not going to tell you the end of the joke.
No, we're not.
But I can tell you, it doesn't make any sense at all after after what you just heard there. And there's more in here. And on the back cover.
Oh, wait a minute. I got one more.
Okay.
Cruel insults. And these are just insults you can use. There's all kinds of them in here, and they will come in very handy if you need to insult anybody, because Steve has listed all kinds of them here. So all you got to do is check it out. They're great insults. You can use them for insulting all your friends.
Yeah.
I would.
Not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Oh,
a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
He forgot to pay his grain bill. Yeah.
A few cans short of a six-pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, as you were going to say, on the back of every issue now are the Buttercube Brothers.
The Buttercube Brothers.
Yeah, there they are.
You got to see it. I can't tell you.
No, I'm not going to tell you the ending of the Buttercube Brothers because that would ruin it. But they are there, and they're on every back issue now.
And he does say, according to readers' letters, we're, the Buttercube Brothers, the most popular part of these strange comics.
Yeah, see? So, these guys have become famous on the back of his covers.
And so Steve's probably been watching our videos, and he knows we're huge fans of the Buttercube Brothers.
Oh, yeah. So, Steve Willis, pioneer of small press, is still putting them out. Yeah.
Did you get any extras with this one? I got a couple of extras.
Oh, yeah, I got some stuff. Yeah, he always sends a little extra. I got it in the drawer here, but I got some stuff.
This one?
He always sends a few things.
Warby only had one joke, but could tell it in an infinite variety of funny voices.
He sent you something different than he sent me.
I like this one. They said I was so bad at carpentry that I could not drive a nail. But look, we've made it all the way to Seattle and back. And you see he's driving and the nail is in the other seat.
Yeah.
So.
And this is blood testing.
Yeah.
Right here. And he says, what's the capital city of Idaho? Pocatello. No. Orfino. No. I don't know. I don't know why it's blood testing. I don't know why it's trying to guess the capital. But there it is. Now, these kind of things are known as Morty Comics. If you look at the bottom, this is Morty Comics 6376. Now, if he hadn't sent this to me, he would hide it somewhere in McCleary, Washington.
Right.
These are all over McCleary, Washington.
Oh, I got number 6,377, so I got the one after that.
Oh, I got 6,444 right here.
Okay. That's a lot of comics, a lot of crazy stuff.
This is the world's worst cowlick.
Yeah, there you go. It will certainly qualify.
Yep. And here is a gentleman bigot. At least he's a gentleman about it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Looks like he has nails in the top of his head.
Well, he does. I think most bigots do. And here's welcome to 1984, but that was decades ago. It took some time catching up.
Now, I don't know how he comes up with this stuff. Just like
I don't know
it's just
either.
like one thing after another, you know.
And here you go. The boss would like a wide with you.
I mean, you can see if it was Rodney Dangerfield, you know, coming up with one liner after another after another, but he just keeps coming up with stuff, and it's always so funny. I mean, I've never seen a dud from this guy at all. Everything is hilarious, and the artwork is good too. The artwork is really
the perfect artwork for what he does. Perfect.
He's a great cartoonist.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm always impressed.
Where do we stand? Do we have? Oh, you have something else there? I might not have had that.
There's a couple of pages we skipped, but it's that's the funniest joke in the world. So we saw that one.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Where are we at? Do we have time for one more, or are we going to save it for the next?
What I had were these 4 little ones from Bill. Do you have those, or?
Gonna have to save that for next time.
Okay. All right.
I didn't quite catch up to that.
Yeah, so all right. That's not a problem. We can save them.
We can save that for next. Bill Widener, we're going to review your stuff in the next video.
It's very different, and you want to pay attention to that when we do that. Yeah. Very different stuff.
And we still have a mountain, maybe a shorter mountain, but we got a lot of stuff to review that's coming up.
Comics coming up. Yeah. So I guess we're wrapping it up for this one, but
I'll just say I just received this from Dream Diary from Larry Johnson. This is
I have that
gorgeous.
Also, so that will be what in our next episode.
Next episode, yep.
Okay. So things to look forward to.
Sneak preview.
Yep. Yeah, there it is. Full color.
Thanks so much, people, for sending us your comics at Space. Trading your comics with us, and just for being the amazing, talented people you are. We appreciate it so much, and we're going to keep right on promoting your stuff.
If nobody else gets a kick out of this, we do.
Right.
We have a great time. So.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy the videos.
I hope so.
We're trying to be as zany and irresponsible and incomprehensible as possible.
I think we're doing a great job.
Oh, last minute commercial. Here's my Beth's Burger Bar.
Oh yeah, I've seen your videos from there.
Right.
Are they paying you? Are they paying you for that? They're paying you
not
for
yet.
That?
Not yet, but after I'm going to send them this video, and then they're going to have to start. I will say, on the back, there's blatant sexism. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh boy. I don't know how you're going to do that.
Can you read that or no?
Proof once, and that's all I can read.
Proof
once. Proof once. I can't. You got to move. I can't do it.
Forget it. It's not possible. What it is proof that
hold it up.
Proof that one girl can beat 5 guys.
Oh, very clever. Very
I don't mind.
Clever.
Yeah, because she makes great burgers. And by the way, she has 5 or 6 locations. But I don't mind because it's Beth. If Beth is, I can tell you right now, like I say, she makes the best burgers in Orlando. There's a picture on the wall there of Governor Ron DeSantis and Mike Pence, the ex-vice president at
Those guys have been in there, huh? They've been in there?
They were there.
Yeah.
And I talked to people like my daughter Kathy was here, one of her friends was here, and I had on the shirt, and she said, "Oh, Best Burger Bar, I've been there."
Wow.
So if you're ever in Orlando, check it out. You just want a good burger, that's the place to go.
All righty. All right. We'll do that. If you ever get there.
Unsolicited advertisement there.
Right. Well, what are you going to do? Well, okay, I think we're wrapping this one up. Hope you enjoyed
Alrighty.
it, and we will see you next time.
See you next time, folks.